Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Commodity TV, in a new episode of our online interview series. We want to get an update from Greenbridge Metals. And of course, as always, this program is on behalf of and paid for Greenbridge Metals. And now with you, good morning to Canada, is David Suda, the CEO. Hey, David, good to see you. How are you?
Jochen, doing very well, thanks. Nice to see you.
Yeah, nice to see you. Perfect. Thanks for taking the time. I know it's early in your morning. Great that you have the time for us because Greenbridge Metals, we would love to get an update, of course. First of all, congratulations. You guys raised $6 million, which is, of course, for an explorer these days still not so easy, but you made it. But to talking about the money, we do afterwards. First of all, also congratulations to your resource estimate at Serpentine. So that was a real big one.
Serpentine is a game changer for Greenbridge because it will ultimately be a development asset that is extremely strategic, not just to our company, but I think strategic to the North American supply chain of copper and nickel. I think that having a development asset of this size, nearly 300 million tons at just over 0.5 copper equivalent and likely going higher as we continue to drill it, is very meaningful because there's metal in the ground. So for a small junior to have an asset where we already have a resource, with lots of exploration and growth levers to pull on in a district scale opportunity that this falls into a package of, is a tremendous value creator for us. So we're very excited to have the opportunity to earn into this asset, and then of course, as I said, pair that with some very explosive exploration opportunities.
Okay, super. So the exploration opportunities, as I said, you got the money now in the bank. So what's next there?
So, for those who have followed the story in the past, they'll recall that we finished off our sort of exploration news flow in the late spring, early summer, with some results from the Skibo
Mhm.
prospect, which is a property which is south of Serpentine. And what happened here was we were able to assay core from a drill program that had been completed by the previous owners, but the core was never cut, never assayed, never sampled, never assayed. So that was from 10 holes. About 50% of that unsampled, unassayed core we put results out from, and they were very impressive. What they showed us was the presentation of an opportunity for another discovery for a deposit similar to Serpentine in many ways. So the next news flow is the continued sampling and assaying from that program. We'll have the second half of that coming out here um, into the winter. So
Mhm.
we're into the fall now. It's already November 15th. I suspect that we won't have this out till January. At the same time, we'll kick off drilling early next year at our TITAC prospect. And again, for those who recall, TITAC is an extremely interesting opportunity for us. It's another property which hosts a very interesting titanium resource, which was drilled in the 2010s. But inside of that titanium resource, we wanted to follow up on some very prolific copper intersections. As you recall, Jochen, like 460 meters of 0.37 copper, never followed up. So we'll be stepping out from those holes to determine, what the potential for a major copper discovery is with the titanium sitting there as well. Also extremely exciting. And so that's how we're going to be spending our time and our money, is we're going to be advancing these exploration opportunities at Skybo and TITAC,
Mhm.
both assays and with the drill bit. And of course, we will start to work on the infill drilling at Serpentine a little bit later, probably at the start of Q2 or Q3.
Okay, super. So you mentioned titanium, of course, vanadium, you have also in copper, nickel, that's also for sure. Those are metals which are really needed, and with copper falling now into a deficit again, that's getting also interested. But I could imagine, as you have your projects in Minnesota, meaning in the US, that could be probably something which puts your projects on interest for the US, because they definitely need titanium for the military complex, vanadium the same, also for the batteries, for the power storage. I could imagine. Is that something, yeah, already which happened to you, that you had contact with ministry, with industry, etc. for
Yeah, I
those
think
metals?
that look, I think that the critical mineral landscape, that sort of macro backdrop was part of our plan. That's why we wanted to be in the U.S. and in Canada. Um, and what's happened is that that's just accelerated beyond our expectations. So and because the properties that we are currently exploring are not these are not greenfield opportunities. We knew already that there was a tremendous abundance of a variety of different metals. You've named them all: copper, nickel, vanadium, PGEs, cobalt, titanium, and the list goes on across these 5 properties. So, um, our leverage to this macro backdrop is tremendous. If people are interested, they should just go and look at our last news release from Skibo and see the crazy numbers on PGEs and cobalt, for example, as potential credits. If we can put together a meaningful copper nickel resource there. So
Mhm.
again, I think this has been flying under the radar. People haven't noticed us. We have a relatively small market cap, but the opportunities that we can bring to the table, these are big swings. So we're very happy to have been funded. We added some really good shareholders to our registry uh, in several institutions who have come to the table, and with that kind of long-term support, I think we're going to see some great runway ahead of us in 2026 and onwards.
Mhm. Okay, super. I think also about this for Serpentine, for example, a big advantage is that you have a tremendous infrastructure there, that you really have, yeah, already all critical elements, I would call it, not from the mineral side because they are in the soil, but you have infrastructure-wise really already a lot, which would probably help you to, yeah, develop faster that project, right?
Absolutely, it's absolutely crucial that people understand that the Duluth complex is a mining belt which has been producing iron ore, for example, since the early 1900s. So for anyone who's interested in this region, it's been flying under the radar. It's not well known, but you can go and drive through the complex. It's known as the Iron Range. There are rail lines. There's access to international waterway shipping. There is electricity and active mining also. As you drive the roads through the Iron Range, you can see there's a tremendous amount of activity still. Obviously, the iron ore industry has taken a bit of a downturn, and I think there are a lot of Minnesotans who want to see the onset of copper mining. You have Teck Resources and Glencore there. Working to permit a mine and to get building. So from an infrastructure standpoint, it's tremendous. There's a history of mining, so there's skilled labor already in place. And that's why we view Serpentine as such a strategic asset, because you have metal in the ground in a place where you can actually extract it. It's not stranded, somewhere in the middle of nowhere.
Absolutely. I read also here in your presentation with Titech, I want to come back again here with the titanium, because as said, your drill results were super, advancing toward resource update and PEA already. So with that PEA, could that be something by end of next year already?
It's possible that we could have a PEA on TITAC in about a year. I think, at the rate that we've seen the capital markets sort of advance. If we see a major rotation, as the gold sector advances in its run, typically we see a rotation to copper. It's all going to be about funding. The titanium piece is extremely interesting, and we see a tremendous amount of value there, but we still treat it as an option, as a call option. Our primary focus is the copper there at TITAC, so we want to obviously, um, expand on our understanding of what the potential for a copper resource is. But uh, we will absolutely deploy resources to advance the titanium piece towards a PEA. So if it takes us 12 months, that would be on the fast side. If it takes us, 24, I think that's probably we would still be happy with that. It's certainly something we need to do because the value is tremendous.
Okay. Then question, what is going on with Chrome Putty, where you are in the Thunder Bay mining district?
Yeah,
Is that a bit on hold?
Chrome Putty has been a very strategic and important asset for us. Of
Mhm.
course, it's the vendor of the Chrome Putty asset who introduced us to the Encampment Group, who are the owners of the Minnesota assets. Um, so that's been, it really unlocked the door to a treasure trove for us, and it's still something that we want to develop. We're looking at potentially partnering with others. Nickel has been, we've found it a little bit more challenging to find investment dollars for nickel. So, we've always said Chrome Putty has a tremendous potential to have PGEs.
Mhm.
Um, and so, we'll likely get working there. It's possible we'll even get working there this year. Uh, if we do that, we would probably wait until we raise some flow through dollars to take advantage of that
Mhm.
advantage, right? It being a Canadian asset. But for
Yeah.
now, it's all desktop studies at Chrome Putty. As I said, we still like the asset, we still like the potential of it, but it's down the list in terms of priorities at the moment.
Okay, super. Then other question, have you had already done, or do you have historical metallurgical results from Minnesota? Because I could imagine with so many metals in the ore, it could be tricky to get them out, or maybe there is, let's say, a process which make it happen.
Absolutely. We have an advisor on our board by the name of George Hudak. He's done several studies in the area, in particular
Mhm.
with titanium, exploring new ways to get the titanium out of a metallurgical flow sheet, and even one where you get the copper, the vanadium, and the titanium all out with an inert tailing. So we are Greenbridge after all, and something that the investors are going to see us do is we're going to highlight making sure that we're coming in to these discoveries and the development of these assets with a very sort of sustainable outlook. And so when it comes to metallurgy, there has been work done at Serpentine, very, very preliminary results, but they're in line with what we see in the region, in line with, for example, what you see in the 2022 feasibility study that was done by Polymet, which is now the North Met project inside of New Range, which is the JV between Glencore and Teck Resources. So
Mhm.
we're obviously going to be doing a lot of met work as we advance at Serpentine in particular. And part of the question that you asked on TITEC regarding the PEA, will revolve around doing met work from the drilling that we commence here in 2026 at TITEC. So metallurgy, yes, you're right, is always going to be a big component of this, and it's going to be a particularly large component for us because we want to explore these new avenues of extracting these resources in an environmentally sustainable way. We haven't said
Mm.
much about that yet, but it's certainly going to be a very key part of our story, because as we advance, as miners, explorers, developers, and ultimately miners, I think one of the things that we need to do, as it's our goal to be in Canada and the United States and countries where we have relatively high environmental standards, we're also going to have to exist in a way that is permissible to the jurisdictions that we're in. So
Mhm.
that's thanks for asking that question. It's something that I haven't spoken about very much publicly, but it's definitely you know brewing in the background. As people, some people know, I have an environmental background, and also the name
Mhm.
of the company, it is Greenbridge for a reason. But these are things that take more time and energy. Let's find the metal to
Yeah.
justify the rest of the work first.
I would say that that's a very good plan. Super. Yeah, perfect. Last question. With those $6 million you raised, have you got new institutions, or are, let's say, the old shareholders did it, or how did it work?
Yeah, so as I've told many people over the course of the last 5 months, as I've been marketing, this is a company that's been, quietly put together with a small group of investors from Vancouver who have funded the company to the tune of almost $6.5 million prior to this most recent raise. And this raise, with Serpentine coming into the mix, was the one that was going to bring in some new outside money to obviously bolster and support the original group. And we found that in the form of four institutions, plus a couple of really interesting networks. I think people will see that we've got some really strong networks who have come in with quite a lot of capacity to highlight our company. And again, this is something that I look forward to the investing public to see. These companies, they can grow organically over time, but at some point you have to put a spotlight on what you have, and that time is now. I think that's what this this
Mm.
this financing has given us the opportunity to do. So we'll be seeing you'll see a lot more of us out there than you have over the course of the last 12-24 months.
Mhm. Okay, super. Hey, David, thank you very much for the update. Sounds all very well organized and perfect. So let the drill start to drill, please, and deliver a lot of good results. That would be fantastic. We wish you all the best. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Jochen. Look forward to seeing you again soon.
Thank you. Yeah, absolutely. For sure. Thank you very much. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, that was David Suda, the CEO of Greenbridge Metals. And you heard it, the drills are, yeah, starting to turn here really, really soon. They have already a great resource estimate out here. And I must say, those are all the metals which are in high demand, and especially for the military complex with titanium, vanadium, but also for the new energy vehicle complex, for the power storage, etc. This is something what you need. And the best is, two of the projects are in Minnesota, in the Duluth complex here. And that is really fantastic. Great infrastructure, great location. You really should check out this company. And that was it for today. Thanks for watching us, and bye bye from Switzerland.